Hey guys, coming to you from a very hot and humid Friday, June 17th here in New York. You can see the poppies I seeded are blooming. I'm excited. We still haven't gotten the sunflowers in the ground or the rest of the flowers. We prioritize getting food in the ground, the vegetables, the medicinals. You can see the peonies are still blooming. We've had some midnight showers and they've gotten messed up, but I was able to cut some and bring it in. So things are getting going here as far as blooming. The green stalks are basically just providing. I didn't really get any strawberries. I got a few strawberries, but you could see that the lettuce is getting ready to bolt. The sorrel is kind of filled in somewhat. We got some snap peas, but they're not very big. They're much smaller than they normally would be, and I think that's from the heat. You can see the potatoes are getting ready. They just have blooms on them, so we'll be harvesting them in a few weeks. Tarragon is really happy. Some of these strawberries are happier than others, and I thought maybe I would get some out of this arugula for my smoothie today. Not from this one, obviously, but it's gonna have to be treated like sprouts. We just have 1, 2 potatoes, 3 potatoes, 4 coming up. The sweet potato had some slips on it when I planted it, but nothing's come to the surface yet. So over here, we've been having issues because every time I plant something and it germinates, the bunnies eat it off. And the chipmunks have been digging things up that did germinate. So we ran out of cages. And the slugs also have been contributing to the party. But you can see here that the bunnies keep eating the cosmos. They've eaten all the strawberries. So we haven't had that many strawberries. So I planted some ground cherries here in the front. See how they do. You can see that I've been busy weeding because my husband was getting a little flustered with all of the stuff growing. But it was food, so whatever I could salvage, I did. And I put it in my smoothie and in other things to hide it from him so he doesn't know that he's eating weeds. So I did clean up the honeysuckle, but the homeopathic did work. So the aphids all died. But then I did it again. I waited the week and I did it again thinking there were still some aphids on here, and then this is what happened. So it was then too much. But I trimmed it back a lot so it would have more airflow. So I think it's okay. Now it looks like it has like powdery mildew, but I'm not gonna try any more remedies on it. I'm gonna give it some time to just kind of reacclimate because the hummingbirds like to go to it. So you can see all the irises are done. Most of the peonies are done. That wisteria's leaning. I need to prop it up. Moving over here, some garden scraps. We've got a mullein getting ready. We've got the blueberries covered. The beach plum is perked up. But you could see, all this stuff is bolting. So I've been harvesting what I can. But in here is the pineberry strawberries that I dug up and gave to a lot of people. But whatever we had left, we did not get to eat. The bunnies ate them. The sweet pea is blooming. It's pretty purple. It's a mix. I never know what color it's going to be because it's a mix of seeds, the one I planted. And you could see that we basically got everything in the garden. So this right here, this is auroch, which is a green you can eat. Got the calendula, giant marigolds. I've got 2 zucchini from my girlfriend Trisha. Shout out to her because I didn't know what was going on with ours. We did have some baby swallowtails. You could see some ants and eggs here from the swallowtail laying on here, but they get really good size and then something eats them. The birds probably, as you can hear. So this is our first year trying to tie up tomatoes and to do the string technique. We'll update you on how that goes. I did try reseeding burdock in here, but I think it doesn't get enough sun, so it's not going to germinate. But you can see these are the first tomatoes that were planted in here, and the difference in the size just between the row behind them. And then I'll show you the ones in the bed. So Tommy did find a bunny in here last night, even though it's been cordoned off. So the bunny somehow got in. You can see the lovage is blooming, which does not make me happy that the bunny got in. The motherwort, feverfew, the meadowsweet. The horseradish isn't blooming anymore. We did have some slug issues. I did get my homeopathic for that yesterday, so I'm excited. I treated cabbage worms once, and we have not seen cabbage worm damage again. I'm really hopeful that my cabbage will not bolt, and that I will get some heads on them. I'm praying to Mother Nature about that. Here's another fennel. This had a few swallowtail babies on it. I don't see them now. Hoping nothing got to them. But that pepper is struggling because the cabbage shades it. But you can see here we put the trellis in. When I say we, I say my husband. For the tomatoes. I'm not sure what his plan is for the ones in the front row. Some of my onions did send up flowers, which I'm not happy about, but not all of them. So I think it was maybe 5 sent up flowers. So those will not store well. So I won't be able to cure them. I'll have to use them right away. You can see in here. Oh yeah, actually on the parsley, which usually they go to the curly parsley, not the flat leaf. I did have a swallowtail. Of course, now that I'm shooting the video, I don't see it, but it was there. And then the tomatoes, I did prune. I have to prune these tomatoes. I did prune the other tomatoes that are on the string. You can see the onions are growing. So this is what we have here. We did the string beans in the earth box. It's our first time doing them in the earth box. We'll see how it goes. So I did get this squash to finally germinate, the cucuzzi. Took 3 rounds. I've lost count because I've had to germinate seed and watch germinate the squash and the cucumbers. I've lost count of how many times. The watermelon, it's actually not a watermelon, it's a Kanjari melon. I just didn't change the tag, so I'll have to remember that. But a cantaloupe was over there, it's gone. It got eaten, and then it looks like slugs got to it. This is the other cantaloupe, it's looking a little rough. So it was a little chilly here yesterday, and it rained. So we're still having lots of fluctuation with the weather, but it's already forced all the greens to bolt, right? So bolting, if you're not aware of what that means, is when it gets hot, all these cold hardy plants, which I'm scared the cabbage is gonna do when I just got it to be happy, they'll send off flowers, right, to go to seed. That's what bolting is, to go to seed, because that's a plant's job, is to reproduce, to go to seed. And when they do that, the plant becomes bitter, and then it will not grow any more greens. So it's, people will pull it. I harvest what I can. I don't mind the bitter taste. I'll eat it. It's fine because it's a taste that you want to stimulate in your mouth. It's good to stimulate bitter. So we don't eat enough bitters in our society in America. So this is the wild spinach. Again, I'm keeping this, but of course something is eating it. There were eggs. I pulled off a few of them when we were doing the trellis the other night, because I want to keep this to use for smoothies, to cook like spinach, right? Because my spinach bolted and I have no spinach until the Malabar spinach starts to take off. And I do have quite a few plants of that. So the Malabar spinach is there in that corner. And then I also have a bunch of it in this corner mixed with the Purslane. And I gave a bunch of it away as well. I think I gave 12, 15 plants away. So it is prolific, and I have some over by the cucumbers as well that I had to replace that the slugs got to. So this is where we're at, June 17th. Garden is growing. Weather is still wacky. And we're supposed to have thunderstorms today, so I thought I'd get out here early before, 1, it got oppressively hot, and 2, before it started to thunder and lightning. So in the comments, if you want to update me where you are and what's going on there, that'd be great. See you soon.